So this week we took one trade, NZD USD. Starting to lower my lot size now because it's December. Historically, last 2 weeks of December have really low volatility. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the markets, it's crypto, Forex. So before we get into the chart breakdown, let me answer a question that I got on my last YouTube video from Lubova. He asked, I'm in the learning progress for about 1.5 years. I've tried a few times, but emotions keeps getting in the way. How long did it take you to start winning? So first of all, it's pretty simple. Have a plan and to stick to it. If I would have lost that trade, nothing would have happened. But I know if I win that trade, I was going to make anywhere between 10 and 15K. That's all that I was going to do. Whether it's a win or a loss, I was gonna let it play out. So that's how what trading psychology boils down to. But you can only get to that point once you have experience. And the only way you get experience is by actually trading and following some type of plan. So you need to have structure in your trading. If you don't have any structure, you're gonna have trading experience, but you're not going to learn anything. I know people that have been trading for 2 years, they still are not profitable, and they haven't even built any sort of discipline, mindset, anything like that. By my second year, that's when I started making money. So to answer his question, 2 years is what it took me to start making money. So anyways, we get on the charts now, break down exactly how it took this.
Alright guys, so now for the chart breakdown as to exactly why I took this trade on NZD USD. So first of all, we're going to do a top-down analysis starting off on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we can see that there is a clear trend to the downside. We've had a lot of weeks in NZD USD of price just going straight down. So the trend is clear to the downside on the weekly time frame. Now, if we head into the daily time frame, we can also see that price is heading down. So what we see here on the daily time frame is overall we have lower lows and lower highs. So let me go ahead and remove this. You can see that price here is consistently going lower and lower. So what I noticed was that once price rejected off of this resistance, price was most likely going to continue to go down. But I know it can look a little bit confusing from the daily time frame, so we actually have to go into the 4-hour time frame to see more detail. Now on the 4-hour time frame, things are starting to make a lot more sense, because here we can see almost somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern where price came up, made a left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. From there, you can expect price to continue down to fill in the rest of the candlestick pattern, which is actually exactly what happened. And I entered my trade right after the right shoulder was formed, which is the best time to enter on a head and shoulders pattern. I want to point out that I also entered below the moving average. If you trade below the moving average on a bearish trend or above the moving average on a bullish trend, you have a much higher probability of winning the trade. So I took this sell below the 4-hour moving average, and actually we're going to now go into the 1-hour time frame. We also traded below the 1-hour moving average. It's an alignment of multiple confluences because we have the weekly time frame bearish, we have the daily time frame is also bearish, 4-hour bearish, and the 1-hour time frame, we're actually going to go ahead and analyze it right now. After we made this high up here, price made a low. So it found support right around this level. Then price made a high, but this high was lower than the previous high. After that, we ended up making a lower low and another lower high. So consistently, price is going to the downside, price is going bearish, and price actually rejected right off of the moving average once again. So what made me actually enter this trade? What was the entry confirmation that I used to enter this trade? Because that's one of people's main difficulties, which is finding the exact pinpoint price to enter, the engulfing candlestick pattern. So what it is you have a series of small candles, in this case going up, and then you have one candle that engulfs a bunch of the previous candles. In this case, it actually engulfed 3 of the previous candles and made a strong bearish engulfing candlestick. So right after this candle actually finished and closed, I entered in on a slight pullback. So let me just mark this candlestick in purple so you can see it very, very clearly, because it's important to understand why I actually entered the trade. Because you can have the best trend, you can have a clear idea of where the market's going to go, but you still need to be precise about where you entered the market. So I entered the market at an engulfing candlestick. And a lot of people think that you can't enter on a pullback and also enter on an engulfing candlestick. But the truth is that the pullback is on the higher time frames, like the 4-hour, and the engulfing, you can find it on the smaller time frames for confirmation. So I already know someone's going to ask what time frame did I use to enter this trade? It was on the 1-hour time frame, but the overall analysis is from the 4-hour, the daily, and the weekly. Because when you can align multiple time frames, you have a much higher probability to win that trade. So that's exactly how I took this trade. Now, as for the targets, how did I choose my take profit? I chose my take profit looking to the left. So on the left, I found this zone, which price had a high probability to reach into that zone and reject off of it, which is exactly what happened. It's also a very nice zone on the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, I would probably draw it a bit larger, but right around this zone, price has reacted to multiple times. So if we go left here, we can see that price used it here as support. Price also kind of used it as a resistance here almost. In here, it's a little bit unclear. But back here, it actually used it as support multiple times again. So this was an area of reaction where price was most likely to react. So that sums up all of the reasons why I took this trade, how I caught it, how I used all time frames in alignment to catch this trade. And it's a good example of the type of trades that you should look for in your trading. So I'll see you guys in my next video.